Hey guys, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 8 part 2. We'll be able to finish it in this one. I just didn't want to rush it, you guys. And there, where we left off, was round about on 8 also I wanted to tell you guys. It says, "There is no man that has power over the Spirit, to retain the Spirit, neither has he power in the day of his death." When you look it up, you guys, it should be the Spirit is just wind. So there is no man that has power over the wind, to retain the wind, neither has he power to the day of death, and that's the Spirit. But see, it's lowercase spirit, so it just means the wind, and you can't control your death and all that stuff like we talked about. And we talked in that same verse, it says, "Discharge, in that war neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given up." And you guys, we can't be discharged, because this is our test for love for God. Verse 9, "All this have I seen, and applied my heart unto every work that is done under the sun. There is a time wherein one man ruleth over another to his own hurt." And that's the usury, and then where you not mercy and forgiveness, and where you rule over someone and you reap what you sow. And then you got the karma rule out there, karma, and you guys know about how that works. You get what you got coming, you know what I mean? What goes around comes around deal. Verse 10, "And so I saw the wicked buried, and had come and gone from the place of the holy, and they were forgotten in the city where they had so done. This is also vanity." And, okay, now what did it say? It says, "I saw the wicked buried." Okay, now this is talking about an evil man that, you know what I mean? You could just take it up to a real bad degree. Someone of evil wickedness, that's, blasphemies, rape, and all this stuff, and then here they go, and their family wants to bury them, and they get them up and put them in front of the church, and then just preach all how good they were and all the things they did, and try to make this wicked person look real good, like he's going to heaven, like he was pleasing to God. And it says the place of the holy, and that's what it's saying in front of it. The whole church, he says, "and they were forgotten in the city." And the dwelling, the rules, there was no law. They threw the law out and said, "Oh yeah, he was raping kids, and blah blah," or whatever the worst case was. You know what I mean? And they just tried to make it look good. That's the basic point of that. 11, "Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil." And this is just like you guys today. The justice system's tied up, and there's people, murderers and rapists and stuff, and people, "Hey, this guy only got a year. Oh, this guy only got 2 months. He raped a little 12-year-old girl. Oh, let him back out. Oh, yeah, don't execute the death penalty." See how far it's gotten? God demands capital punishment, you guys. It's only fair. You screw people up for lives for raping them and doing them things. You screw people's lives up. I mean, they can come out of it with Christ, but you severely screw someone's life up by murdering them. And there's murder of a soul by what you do against people, and God required that capital punishment, and we don't execute it today because people think it's cruel and unusual. Or you think about the victims. And if you did this, God says, just like in when he was handing the law out, he said, "Speedily you do these things in front of the community, just like they used to do capital punishment." He says these things will cease to happen from you. If you don't do these things, perversion, rape, and murder will run wild in wickedness. Verse 12, "Through a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him." And that's to revere, that's to fear and to love God and appreciate what we got, because see, what did he do? "Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged," he used, or whatever he did to get by, stomp, push people down, poison people, whatever the case was, you know what I mean? To get by. Anything trampling people down. Wickedness. Verse 13, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not God, he feareth not before God. And that's when night comes, you guys, like if you haven't seen that your shadow video I made before these videos, go check that out. There is a vanity which is done under the sun, that there be just men unto whom it happens according to the work of the wicked. Again, there be wicked men to whom it happened according to the work of the righteous. I said that this is also vanity. And it seems like wicked will get ahead, but don't let Satan get you caught up in that, you guys, because we can't hold on to nothing here. You know what I mean? And God's going to give you what he wants you to have. He's going to take care of you. And the more we trust, that's faith, you guys, and you build it. And that way, God loves faith, because that's saying, hey, Father, you know, like he's really a father. It's like he wouldn't leave you, or, you know, you've got someone that cares about you, anyone, a father figure or anything like that when you were young, and they say, hey, I'll be right back. Pick you up at the park, you know, and they know that you ain't got no right or anything like that, you know, in the love sense like that. That's why our families are beautiful representations of Christ, and that's how it's to set that example. We're supposed to learn to be a family here, you guys. But see, what it's saying is the wicked do stuff to the righteous to prosper, you know, and then it's going to get you down to where you don't want to do wickedness or do things back against them. You know, you just cut it off and be swift and more smarter than them are, and ask God for help, and he'll take care of it, and he'll move you from that situation. He'll always give you a way out if you look, you guys. I'm serious. Verse 15. Then I commended mirth, because a man has no better thing under the sun than to eat and to drink and to be merry, for that shall abide with him of his labor, the days of his life which God giveth him under the sun. That's to be happy, you guys. To love God forever, and that's that freedom of spirit. And see, this is way back in Ecclesiastes. This is Solomon telling you about this wisdom and this beauty of God, is to be happy with what you currently have. That's satisfaction, that's happiness. So then you can gain increase. Because you can have a bunch of stuff and anything in this world, but you can't have happiness. That's a gift from God, the Holy Spirit. It's knowing that you're free, you guys. You know, and we just learn to build our foundation because we care about God. 16. When I applied my heart to know wisdom and to see the business that is done upon the earth, for also there is neither day nor night seeth sleep with his eyes, and this business is travail. So when I apply my heart to know wisdom and to see the travail, the trouble, the usury, the system that is done under the earth, for also there is that neither day nor night seeth sleeping his eyes. Verse 17. Then I behold all the work of God, that a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun, because through a man's labor to seek it out, yet he shall not find it. Yet further, though a wise man think to know it, yet shall he not be able to find it. And a wise man's your lot, you guys, a wise person, woman, man, you guys know that by now if you've been listening to me. It's mortal, but it's because we're used to saying it from reading. Your lot is wisdom. So you're your own wisdom in the sense of when you found God, you know what I mean? You were smart enough, and now you're using God's knowledge because you're letting Father lead you. And God's the judge of all judges, you guys. Remember, we follow him before anything else. Okay? He told us to obey the law, not to break it, you know. But I'm just saying, in all aspects, we follow God. Because Satan, you know, just like it talked about the wicked and the one ruling over another, and that's oppressor, you guys. And it says, when you see heart, that's your mind, you know what I mean? What they're doing. And just like it talked about those wicked people, the guys, and it covers it up. And that's why the sin and the evilness continue in this world today, and it's horrible, you know? Because people don't stop. They try to slap them on the wrist for it and send them back out. They don't. They're repeat offenders, you guys. They're all over the place. It's ridiculous. It's rampant. It's everywhere around where I'm at. I hate it. It's everywhere, you guys. Look up a predator search. So you guys should all have a sheriff thing or something. Sexual offenders, and you can look up at the jail website. But there's a thing you type in, and it'll put red dots all around the map around your area where there's sexual offenders registered. And watch your map light up like little red polka dots all over. And you know, guys, without God will be lost, and it's a puzzle, and that's what it's saying in that 17th verse, because you might labor all the time if you didn't have God in it. You only got wisdom here. You never got any spiritual. You never really enjoyed anything too much, you know, until you got bored with it, like a kid with a toy, and you passed it on. That's what everything will bring you in this life is boredom, and that's why, like, people that do evil, you guys, they'll do sins. Or like they'll start out with a little bit of this bad stuff, like I did on the spirits video on my other channel, and it escalates. The sin has to climb for them to be, because it's something new, something new, something new. Just like if you would get into any kind of low, to where it's evil spiritual, and using spirits and channeling and that different stuff, and combine that with magic and witchcraft and sorcery and alchemy and all in one, you know, and doing wizardry and doing all this stuff out here, you're going to have to keep escalating and escalating and escalating. And then it finally gets to the point where, you know, they're already doing it, but then they've got to start doing it to other people so they can start viewing and seeing how other people react to this and that and that and this, and as they learn, and it doesn't stop, you guys, and it's an evil pattern of destruction. And that's why we want to have God, and, you know, we'll have special things when we get to heaven, but we need to wait for it. We're supposed to be learning to love here and be together, and we're supposed to be in righteousness, not in evil and wicked ways, not hurting children, not hurting women, not hurting anyone like that. That does deserve punishment, you guys, and you know it is just because God wrote it. And just like God has that ability to exercise His rights, His 10 Commandments, at any time He chooses to use them, because we're His children. And we have no business in telling God, because this is just flesh, you guys. If God did, I'm not saying He runs around killing people, but you poke His children in the eyes enough, no matter what the age is, just like He said, you guys are the apple of my eye. He said, you go messing with them, it's like poking me in my eye. He said, you know, that was in this book, you know. He don't like it. Okay? No, if they died in the flesh, you know, anyone, just like in the Old Testament, you guys, how do you know they weren't an election person? How do you know that if God didn't take those people out, like some of the giants, and sent Israel in there, they would have continued sinning to the point where their soul would have been lost. But since God cut them out and He set that command, those people are going to have to be retaught because their test was cut off. But you guys, they were also doing witchcraft and evil sorcery, and they were eating people, cannibalism, because of the size of it, because they went back to the purebred race, and it was creating that second influx of giants. Giants is not just a bloodline, it's just giants. That was fresh off. The pure mix of the angelic DNA to the flesh DNA design. And, you know, they were doing evil stuff like that and killing people. So, you know what I mean? That's not our business, you guys. And there's the Lord's day, and we're all His children. Father decides. It's His way. It's bigger than what we think. You know what I mean? This flesh is going to perish. This is like just a test, you guys. I'm not saying it's a game, but you might as well want to think of that in the sense when you're trying to think in spiritual thinking, because if you stay in a flesh thinking, you're not going to be able to reach that understanding of God. And if those things happen, why is that your business? Why are you staying attached to the flesh, worried about who God takes and what time? He brings in who He wants when they're born, and He takes out who He wants when they're dead. And God don't kill everyone, I'm just saying. He's got the right to. We got free will and things happen. I love you guys. Bye.